Hello, I'm going to talk about sport and regional identity. So, as you know, the British Isles is made up of 4 different countries. There is Scotland in the north, which is where I grew up in my high school years. There is Wales in the, whatever this side is, west, I think, which is where there are a lot of castles and the population is a little small. And England in the south, where London is, which is probably the place that you think of, especially if you're Japanese, Igirisu. People tend to think Igirisu means England, although in fact, Igirisu means Great Britain. And then the island of Ireland. It's so interesting because the word Ireland sounds like island. And Ireland has 2 parts. It's been separated since about 1921. Southern Ireland has a different identity from the rest of Britain due to religion. Southern Ireland has a strong tradition to follow the Catholic Church and to be more European. Northern Ireland has a mixed population, but follow the Church of England as well as the Roman Catholic Church. So Northern Ireland is considered to be part of Britain and send members of Parliament to Britain. And one more flag, which I've got here, which you know, is the Union Jack. It's the flag of England, that's the red cross. Scotland, that's the blue one with the white cross. And Wales doesn't have a part. And I think the red cross, which is going this way, honestly, I don't remember where that comes from. Is it an old version of the Irish flag? It might be. Nobody knows. At least I'll have to research that a bit more. Now, I'm going to talk about our national identity and sports teams, because this is really interesting. Take a look at the map, which is on the handout, which you can see in the screen, and go down to the bottom right-hand corner, and you can see the map of Olympic teams. Because all of Britain is coloured in red, it means there's a British Olympic team and there isn't a separate English and Scottish team. There isn't a separate Welsh team. If you're Welsh, you join the British team. If you're Scottish, you join the British team. And what about Northern Ireland? Well, you can see there's a kind of cross line, which is mixed green and red. So that means if you're from Northern Ireland, you can choose whether you want to play in the British team or you want to play in the Irish team for the Republic of Ireland. What this shows us is that the number of people doing Olympic sports is actually smaller. So we need the players from the other countries. The British team need the players from Scotland. They need the players from Wales. Otherwise, they couldn't get a team for a rare sport like skateboarding or horse riding. And so Olympic sports has a British team. It doesn't have an English and Scottish and Welsh separate team. And so now we can learn something from the other maps about the popularity. Think about it. If a sport is very popular, there are going to be so many people who want to play that they have enough players to choose a good team and to fight against the other parts of the country. And so let's look at question number A about Northern Ireland and soccer. Please note that British people usually call soccer football. So when you're talking to British people, it's better to refer to football rather than soccer. maybe we're getting more international, so more people will understand and respond if you talk about soccer nowadays. But when I was a kid, we would definitely say football and we wouldn't say soccer. And if you're in Scotland, people will say fitbar in football. So be aware the pronunciation might be a little bit different from what you expect as well. So does Northern Ireland have a national soccer team? This is going to take us to the map, which is here. Football, soccer. So what can you see? We can see different colours for England is red, Wales is yellow, Scotland is blue, Ireland is green, and Northern Ireland is orange. So it means each country has a different football team. Football is so popular that there are enough players and the different areas have an identity which is different. And so they want to fight each other in football. So there is a national football championship where the 5 nations will play against each other. So now you know this, pause the video and look at the other questions and look at the other maps. We've got a map for rugby. That's going to help you to answer question B. Does Northern Ireland have a national rugby team? Look at Northern Ireland. Is it a different colour? And can number C, here's the cricket map down on the bottom left side. Can a Welsh person play in the English cricket team? Is Wales coloured separately? So what does that mean? Question D, would you expect a Scottish athlete to play in the British Olympic team? We already looked at that map. Would you expect an Irish athlete to play in the British Olympic team? So now pause the video for a few minutes and see if you can solve my problem. So, did you solve the problem? Let's look at the questions again. B, does Northern Ireland have a national rugby team? Well, Northern Ireland is coloured the same colour, it's all green. It's the same as Southern Ireland. So that means Northern Irish players have to play in the same team with players from South Ireland. They play all together. And so the answer to B is no, they don't. There is no national rugby team for Northern Ireland. But Wales has a rugby team. Rugby is very, very popular in Wales. So consider this, the population of England is 56.5 million. The population of Wales is only 3 million. It's less than 1/10. But rugby is so popular in Wales that they can create a team which is strong enough to beat the English quite frequently. Let's go on and look at C. Can a Welsh person play in the English cricket team? So if we look at cricket, Wales and England are all coloured the same. So it's the same team. Not just they can play in the English cricket team, but they have to play in the English team because there is no Welsh cricket team. So this tells you cricket is not so popular in Wales. Rugby is much more popular than cricket in Wales. How about Scotland? You can see Scotland has a cricket team, so cricket is quite popular in Scotland. Northern Ireland doesn't have a special cricket team, so maybe cricket is a bit less popular in Northern Ireland. Let's look at question D. Would you expect a Scottish athlete to play in the British Olympic team? And of course, the answer is yes, because there is no separate Scottish Olympic team. And for question E, would you expect an Irish athlete to play in the British Olympic team? What do you think? And the answer is they can choose. So they can choose depending on which team they like. And so that's all about regions, identity and sport. My interesting memory is of seeing very, very passionate fans of Scotland and England on the train going to the match, and a lot of high tension between the fans of different sides, which was actually a little bit scary. It was kind of fun, but it was also a little bit scary when I was a child, because the fans of the English team and the Scottish team didn't really get on very well. And it was very sad because it meant I didn't enjoy watching football until I came to Japan. In 2002, the World Cup was happening near my town, Nakamozu, in Osaka. And so I started to be a fan of the Japanese football team before I was a fan of any British football team. Nowadays, probably I support Scotland more than England, but I kind of just like to watch a match if my friends are watching. Thank you for listening. I'm going to recommend you to watch a wonderful movie about girls playing football, and that movie is Bend It Like Beckham. You can see some really interesting clips on YouTube, which I'll send a link to. If you're in MIU, you can borrow the DVD of Bend It Like Beckham from me, and it gives you a lot of insight into London and the intercultural situation in London, because the player is actually from an Indian second generation background. So you learn a lot about intercultural London as well as about sport. Thank you for listening and see you later.